Hello, loves. So let's just go ahead and jump right into child's pose. Take the time here to settle, to readjust as needed. Feel the weight of your hands pressing on your mat. Notice the vertebra between your shoulder blades. And sinking further down your back. Working to press your hips towards your heels. And intentionally coming into your breath. And take a moment here and set your intention for your practice. Why are you here now? And what do you need? If you know you need a certain something, right? Maybe you need relaxation, maybe you need focus. I invite you to cultivate that in whatever the practice is. Right, we've talked about this in the past where it's really easy to say you don't have road rage when you're alone on the road. So it's really easy to say that you want to be anxiety free and then bring anxiety to your practice, right? So maybe it's a pose you don't want to do, or I mess up and forget something on one side. And you can choose to meet that with anxiety or with peace. Yeah, so figuring out what you want from this practice. You can stretch your arms over to the right side, continuing to press your left hip down so you're getting a nice side body stretch. And then coming back to the center and stretching towards the other side. Letting yourself take deep, full breaths to help stretch out your side body. With each exhale, see if you can open your side body up even more. Begin to make your way back to center. And press up onto all fours. You know the drill by now. We're going to move into some cat-cow pose. Moving with your breath, letting your full spine bend and flex. from your tailbone to the crown of your head. This is a good time to pick up Ujjayi breath if you have not already. One more each way. And then return to a neutral spine. Lift your right arm up like you're going to shake a hand. Extend your left leg back. Find your balance and then lift your left leg off the ground. Pause here. And then elbow to knee, exhale. Inhale, expand. Same thing, back to the center. Try to touch if you can. Back out and back in. On your out, stay for 2 cycles of breath. And then return to the earth. Shift your your left hand under your face, twist your right arm up, and then thread the needle through. If you can, get your ear or cheek to the ground, so your right ear as your right arm threads under the left armpit. Working to keep your hips square on the back edge of your mat. And let each exhale deepen your twist. One more breath here, and then come back to center. Reset the spine. If you'd like to do a cat-cow, to do so, go right ahead. And then lift the left arm up and the right leg back. So start by stabilizing with the toes and then lift the leg. Pause here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, contract. Lengthen out. Contract in. Lengthen out. Contract in, extend back out, and just like the other side, pause for 2 cycles of breath. Return to the ground, set up, right hand under your face, left arm twists up, thread the needle through. So all the cues from the other side remain the same, in that you want your tailbone centered on the back of your mat. You're using your supporting arm to help deepen your twist. If you want to take a half bind, go for it. It's really whatever variation and expression feels good in your body today. Release, coming back up onto all fours. Coming out of your pose, we will take another round of cat-cow. Again, letting your breath guide you. And hopefully you have a yoga strap or a tie or a long towel handy. We're going to just do some shoulder opening work. So just going to take your hand on either side of the strap and pull through the shoulders around your back. You don't want to have any strain or bend in the elbows, so take your hands as wide as you can. Even watching myself here, I see one shoulder compensating for the other, so that's a good note for me next time. I had to take my hands even wider. Just run through that a few times, threading back and forth. This is kind of one of those exercises we should do every day because most of us are so tight in our upper body from all of the hunching forward. Anyways, making your way to downward facing dog. Pedaling out, rolling through the feet, pawing through the hands. Playing with how deep the bend in your knee is. I am going to say 99% of us need a bend in our knee in order to liberate our hips and therefore our spine. Making sure that when you're focusing on your hands, that all 5 fingertips are actively clawing down. Press all of the air out and then take a big inhale in as you lift your right leg up. Hips are square to start. And then bend your knee. Now stack your hips. Pull your knee high. Ideally, your knee is the highest point on your body right now. Negotiate through pressing both shoulders down flat like you're in your down dog. And then straighten that leg. Now pull your right knee to your left armpit or wrist. Inhale back up. Taking it now to your right elbow or wrist. And up. Coming through your center line, knee to nose. Step through low crescent. So here you just drop your left knee, lift your torso up. I like to put my hands on blocks, but you can always just rest your hands on your thigh. Really focus here on pressing your left hip forward and down, getting an opening from really the left jaw all the way down into the left psoas. Bring your arms up overhead and lean to your right side. So the left side body is getting an opening. I like to have my blocks under my hands here. One more breath. And then leaning to the other side, so a different opening here. Coming back to center. You're going to pop up into a wide-legged pyramid. So your back heel might not touch the ground at all, and blocks are super important. So what a pyramid is both toes are facing 12 o'clock and your hips are square. So I like to inhale and lengthen my spine and then exhale and fold over, making it more of a dynamic stretch. Couple of breaths like that. And then coming back to your low lunge. And then twisting over wide-legged forward fold. So it's just better to come into the wide-legged forward fold with a bend in the knees. And just like every forward fold, you'll inhale, lengthen the spine halfway, and then exhale, fold. This gives us greater opportunity to get into the low back. And then if you want to take some shift side to side to get into your hips differently, go for that. If you want to do a deep bend in each knee and go side to side, try it all on and see what fits today. One more breath here. Coming back to the top of your mat for high push-up, low push-up. Your choice here for a cobra or an up dog. Really inhaling, letting there be space in the spine. And then exhaling, coming back, downward facing dog. Inhale, this time left leg up, bend your knee, stack your hips. Right, so you have a rough idea of where we're going on this left side, if I can remember. Straightening, bending, figuring out how to really stack your hips. Coming back to your center and then bringing your left knee to your right elbow and then to your left and then through to your nose and stepping through for a low lunge. So you've already been here on the other side, so you have a rough idea of what's possible in your body today, but really be gentle and in tune. This is a whole different side. So maybe here you don't need the blocks, maybe you do. Working your torso up. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, leaning towards the left. One more breath. And then coming back to the center. Other side. And coming back to the center, popping your back knee up off the ground for that wide-legged pyramid, grabbing your blocks right away. And again, you can choose to have dynamic or static stretching. So dynamic is inhaling, expanding, exhaling, dropping, or just holding a pose. And then passing through with bent knees, you'll make your way to wide-legged forward fold, just like the other side. Stopping for a halfway lift, and then coming down. Long-term goal, you want the chin tucked to the chest and the crown of the head reaching down. So play with that here. Maybe you put your hands behind your head to help lengthen the neck and the upper back. Maybe you kind of sway side to side in a ragdoll formation. It's really about exploring your body. And then begin making your way through your vinyasa flow. Right, as always, you can simply step back into your down dog, or you can do your full chaturanga up dog and then come into your down dog. Essentially, you do you, boo. I got some tight shoulders, right? So I don't really need all that chaturanga in my life. All right, let's move into some sun A's. Step your feet to your hands, halfway lift, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to Tadasana, hands to heart center. Pause here. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Right, moving with intention. Upward facing dog, cobra, any sort of upward back bend you like. Downward facing dog. Bring your feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Strong as a mountain. Exhale, wash down, fluid like water. Halfway lift. And follow your flow. Right? Picking an element that maybe you want to engage in your body. Recalling the top of your practice. Did you set an intention? Why are you here? You should be in your down dog soon, if not now. Launch feet to hands, halfway, forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, back down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Urdhva Mukha Sarvasana, Adho Mukha Sarvasana. Breathe here. You can pedal out through your legs, wrap your shoulder blades together. Tilt your tailbone high. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step through, crescent lunge. So a crescent lunge, you're balancing on the ball of your back foot. Front knee is bent. Take a moment to play with your back knee. How straight or bent do you need it? Pyramid pose. So you're going to shorten the distance between your legs, square your hips, fold over your front leg. Right, so earlier we took like a wide-legged pyramid, and now this one is a little more narrow. Or you can stay wide-legged, right? You're the boss of you. Now this is kind of a reverse pose here. I want you to take triangle from pyramid. So you're going to have to open your back leg, rotate through your hip, and elongate the spine. So normally we go triangle to pyramid, right? We close off. But here we're going to open up. So it might feel a little awkward in your body, especially if you're used to like a Baptiste practice where there's a designed flow. One more breath here, and then come to star pose. So star pose is your toes are pointed out, your heels are in, and then you'll squat down into your goddess. I like to take my arms to a T in goddess, but you can take any arm variation you prefer. If you'd like to take some shoulder dips here, I always love this. Rotation in both the shoulder, and you get a little opening in the chest. Ah, so juicy. Keep your breath active with whatever you're choosing. Coming back to your goddess. Skandasana to the back of the mat. So you're going to bend your left knee, flex your right toes up. Long-term goal is both hands come to heart center here. My inner thighs are still pretty cool, so I'm just going to do one hand. And then place your right hand to the ground, or pardon me, left hand to the ground in front of your left foot, right hand to the sky. Release down. Coming to warrior two now. So you'll bend the opposite leg up high. Arms at a T. Lean forward, reverse your palm, reverse your warrior. Right, being aware of both rib cages, both sides of the rib cage. Pardon me, you only have one. And then we're going to launch into half moon. If you're like me and you're running into furniture, just scoot back. The goal here is to have your top hip stacked over your bottom hip. Paying attention to your bottom foot. Keep those bottom toes at 12 o'clock. One more breath. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Come to your flow or step to downward facing dog, your choice. Inhale, left leg up, step through, crescent lunge. So you've been here before on the other side. So maybe this time, instead of focusing just on your knee, you focus on your pelvis, tucking up and in to help elongate the front right hip, right where the psoas is. And then taking your pyramid pose. So shortening the stance just a bit, squaring the hips. And like we did earlier, right, I prefer currently the dynamic stretch of inhale, lengthen, exhale, settle. But you can choose to just settle and hold. I'm personally trying to move energy through my upper back. So that's my work. Okay, triangle. All right, so same thing as I said before, kind of coming at it a little differently than we might normally. So take the time to adjust your feet. Pay attention to the direction of your knees, your hips, the rib cage, the shoulders, and lastly, the head. Star pose. Sink down for goddess. So interesting, right? When you watch your own practice, I'm like, I'm nowhere near 90, but I can promise my thighs were shaking. Keep pulling your lower belly up and in as you come to Skandasana at the back of your mat. So your right knee will bend this time. Long-term goal, right, like I said, is not only to pick up the hands, but to have the shoulders stacked directly over the hips. Right hand to the ground, left hand up, twisting. Coming up, warrior two. Reverse your palm, reverse your warrior. Figure out where you might be cheating and try to fix that, right? I kind of crunch my lower ribs. That's my work. Coming into half moon now. Flex your flying foot. Pull your fingers apart. We want yoga happening in every cell of our body. Forward fold. Beautiful, yeah. Halfway lift. You can take your flow or meet me in down dog. Staying active in your breath no matter what you choose. Inhale, right leg up. Stepping through, crescent lunge. Pyramid pose. Trikonasana. Star. Goddess. Skandasana. Warrior two, reverse warrior, half moon, forward fold, halfway lift, vinyasa. Same thing other side. We've been here before, we're just moving one breath at a time. Left leg up, crescent lunge. Pyramid pose. Trikonasana. Star pose. Goddess pose. Skandasana. Warrior two, reverse warrior, half moon, forward fold, halfway lift, take your flow. Really the whole practice is a take your flow, but you don't know where I'm going, so you can't yet. Feel free to take a deep, juicy exhale here or drop into child's pose. Your choice, right? We're staying at rest for a few breaths. So if you want to rest in your down dog, rock it out. One more breath. Big, full, conscious. Coming to your downward facing dog. Right leg up. Step through warrior two. Spend some time negotiating the pose. Clasp your hands behind your back. Lift the heart up. And then take a humble warrior. If you have mobility in your shoulders, that's pretty good. You can lift your hands away from your low back. Coming back to warrior two. Wide-legged forward fold. This is your chance. If you'd like to take an inversion, you may do so now. If you don't know what I'm talking about, today is not your day. We'll do a breakdown class later of inversions. Ooh, we should do frog leaps too. Okay, anyways. Starting here now. We're in a forward fold. 80% of your weight is in the balls of your feet. Working to stack your hips a little more forward. My inversions, please begin to descend. And we'll meet in a halfway lift. So you can bring your hands under your face. Whatever you need to do to lengthen the spine. We'll take a twist, left hand down, right hand up. So we did this earlier with our left knee on the floor, our back knee on the floor. This time you're gonna just pick it up. It's just an easy twist. Downward facing dog. Yeah, take your flow right anytime. You get to choose. Inhale, left leg up. Step through, warrior two. Just like before, take the time, settle into your legs. Square the rib cage over your hips. And then just like we did on the other side, clasp your hands behind your back, open your heart, bow forward. Figuring out here in your humble warrior where your work is. Rise up, back to your warrior two. Wide-legged forward fold. Not as long over here to take an inversion, but if you think you can hop up kind of quick-like without injuring yourself or those around you, rock it out. Maybe if you're not taking an inversion, you walk your hands through your legs. If that's not your jam, you put some blocks under your hands. It sucks, I can't see you, I can't help you. But energetically, I'm sending you good form. One more breath here, and then coming to an easy twist. So right hand down, left hand up, back knee off the ground, kind of next level from the twist earlier. One more breath, rotation from the rib cage, and then take your flow or downward facing dog. One more breath. Inhale, right leg up, step through, warrior two. Reverse triangle. So you're going to straighten the front knee and hinge back. So it's just like reverse warrior, but with a straight front leg. Extended side angle. So front knee bends, top arm comes overhead. If you'd like to play with a bind here, go ahead. I'm going to grab a strap because that's how my body works. But you'll just wrap your top arm behind your back. Bottom arm comes through your legs. And then work to stack your shoulders one on top of the other, opening your chest. Stay in your breath. And then release. Take your flow or meet in down dog. So this bind is kind of our peak pose. Left side, warrior two. Reverse triangle. Extended side angle. So take a moment to set up your extended side angle and then take your arm bind or grab your strap and take your assisted arm bind. Working your ribs, stacking, then the shoulders, then twisting the head up. Release. Taking your flow or stepping to down dog. I mean, that's just a given, okay? Do that every time. All right, we're gonna take broken toe pose. So you're gonna come onto your knees, tuck your toes, set your hips over your heels. I like to put blocks under my hands. This is super intense for me. Yeah, we just carry a lot of stress in our feet. They hold the weight of our body all day long. And then untuck the toes, take a hero pose. So you might kind of widen the distance of your ankles so your hips can drop through. If you need to sit on a block here, go for it. We're not going to be here long. And then retuck the toes, broken toe pose again. So if you get shin splints, like this is your jam. If you wear high heels, yeah. It does not feel good, but it is so good. Untuck the toes, coming back to hero pose. Little external rotation of the hips here. And you know, I have this thing with odd numbers, so we're going to take broken toe one more time. Whew, feeling that fascia opening up. Right, so we can have really loose muscles and really tight fascia, FYI. Untuck the toes, hero pose. Moving your blocks or any of the tools that are in your way, downward facing dog. Right leg forward, half pigeon. So you're gonna, as much as possible, try to parallel your shin bone with the top of your mat. If this is not easily accessible in your practice, use your props. I don't even know how to be polite about it. Use the tools provided to you to help your practice. So either the block goes under your right hip or under your left, or you can bend your left leg and kind of take like a bent leg pose, almost like deer legs. You know how when deers lay down? Yeah, we're not forcing things. And then if you'd like, you fold over your leg. Maybe you keep your torso lifted. Maybe you put a block under your belly. We talk a lot about our emotions being in our hips and leaving it on the mat. And I really mean that. On your next exhale, drop something that doesn't serve you. A belief, a thought process. Lifting your torso up, swing your leg back through for three-legged dog. So you're just going to come right into down dog and then lift that leg up, take a scorpion tail, and come back down. Inhale, left leg up, stepping through, other side, half pigeon. Taking the time to negotiate and have the conversation with your body. What feels good? What's possible? Sometimes I like to kind of rock side to side through my hips because I catch myself kind of holding myself in one place or another instead of just fully going into surrender mode. So you've just got to kind of investigate for you. And maybe on this side, instead of focusing on letting something go, maybe you focus on gaining something with your inhales. Maybe you're gaining length in the front right psoas, pardon me. Or maybe you're gaining length in the left lower back. I think sometimes we focus a lot on what we're letting go of and not what we're making space for. Inhale, lift your torso up. Coming back to your three-legged dog. Taking a scorpion tail. Just kind of a counter stretch, you know? Final downward facing dog. Come onto your knees. We're going to take one camel pose. Bring your hands to your hips. Squeeze your shoulder blades, open your throat. Lift your torso up. Come onto your back. We're going to take a seated forward fold. We're going to be here for a few breaths. So choose, right? How do you want to start? I love to start with a really bent knee. So that way I can grab my feet and push through my back, tucking my chin to my chest. And just like in my pyramid pose, I'm really into currently a dynamic movement. So every inhale, lifting, every exhale, folding, to try to create fluidity and motion in my upper back. But that's just my work. So you do what works for you. Maybe a static hold is best. Maybe you just grab your feet and hunker down. I don't know. I feel like every yoga practice should come with the words hunker down, BT dub. You know you're in Texas when your yoga teacher says hunker down. Anyways, sorry. Okay, lifting up. One big fold forward. Final exhale. And then roll onto your back, taking a block with you. We'll take restorative bridge pose. Knees are bent. Press through your heels, lift your hips. Place a block under your low back sacrum area. You pick the height. I tend to rock out the mid-level. But whatever height you pick, I want you to surrender. Let the full weight of your body fall on the block. And even here, right? What are you making space for? Are you trying to open your back? Are you trying to relax the shoulders? You can stay there, or you can take legs up the wall with the block under your tailbone. So I might move the block a little bit further down. That's where I like it. I like it on my actual tailbone, and then lift your legs straight up and down. If you're staying in your bridge pose, just make sure that your neck is relaxed. Return your feet to the ground, press through your heels, lift your hips, remove your block. You can take Supta Baddha Konasana here. And then coming to Happy Baby. Yeah, you choose if you're rolling or what. Then we're going to come into thread the needle. So left leg bent, right ankle over left knee. And then I want you to twist that. So you're just going to drop to the ground. And you want to figure out your opening here. So maybe keeping the figure 4 legs twisted is enough. Maybe you need to add a block somewhere. Maybe you can grab your bottom leg and extend it. Come back to the center. Switch sides. Twist the other way. Every exhale, softening your scapula into the ground. come back to the center. We're going to take a different twist now. I want you to cross your knees, pull them in towards your chest, and then twist. So it's almost like whale tail, except for instead of grabbing your ankles, you're just going to twist and drop your knees to the side. And if you don't know what whale tail is, don't worry about it. We'll learn it next time or another time or when you're ready. Come back to center, switch legs, twist the other way. I really think that is the lesson that yoga has taught me, is that when it's time for me to learn something or know it, I will. That I don't have to know everything up front. That I don't have to be perfect. And for me, that's what knowing is, right? That perfection, that I know all the things. Come back to center. Another Supta Baddha Konasana here. If you need to put blocks under your knees or pillows under your knees, do that. This is a gentle opening, and I want you to be able to relax into it. If you need more of an opening, you can place your block under your low back, sacrum area. And you can do that with Supta Baddha legs or with legs extended. Becoming aware, what are you trying to make space for? If you have the block underneath you, please remove it. You may end your practice in Supta Baddha, or you may extend out for Savasana. And as much as possible here, I encourage you to merely exist. back in your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes, making your way to a fetal position. You have plenty of time. We're going to rest on our side for a few deep breaths. Big inhale and sigh. If you can, keep your eyes closed while you make your way up to a seated position. Sitting up nice and straight, drop one ear towards one shoulder. You can take your hand and gently pull. Just a final kind of neck attention moment. Other side. Right, opening the fascia up. Supports our neck. Release that. Bring your hands to heart center. Hopefully you're feeling more in union with yourself. Maybe even more in union with the space around you. Bringing your thumbs to your third eye center. My prayer for you is that you are in connection with yourself, that you are making space for what is yours. Namaste. Three, two, one. As always, yogis, thank you for practicing with me. If you're following on YouTube, please subscribe above, leave a comment or a question below. If you are one of my Patreon supporters, thank you so much. And as always, namaste. Now, thank you, yogis. As always, it's been a pleasure to practice with you. If you are following along on YouTube, please subscribe above or leave a comment or question below. And if you're one of my Patreon supporters, thank you. You are appreciated. Have a great day.